Are you a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising, and you're interested in diving deeper into your psyche? Or maybe you're cross-watching for a Scorpio in your life and you want to know more about their inner world. Well, in today's video, we are going to be exploring the shadow side of Scorpio and how to own these hidden parts. Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. And if you have not joined the Cosmic Warriors Club, what are you waiting for? Go to cosmicwarriorsclub.com. I cannot wait to see you there. But before we dive into today's video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and click the bell. And if you are interested in any of my services, then you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. There you can also find my practical astrology ebooks, guide, and merch. All the links will be in the description box down below. I do hope that you find this video to be helpful today. Let's do this. All right, so before we get into this, I do not claim to be a psychologist. This is simply me going off the knowledge I know about astrology. So take what I'm saying today with a grain of salt and just see how things resonate. And I also want to give a massive shout out to the astrologer Howard Sasportas, who is the author of this incredible book, The 12 Houses. Thanks to his knowledge, I have been able to create this series. Plus, I suggest you watch for your rising sign first and foremost, then watch for your sun and your moon just to see how things resonate. I will be using the whole sign system for this series, and we will be diving into your 7th, 4th, 8th, and 12th houses. This is because these are unconscious houses. They are tied to our shadow, and if you have any planets in these houses, consider them. And just one more thing here, this information is in conjunction with Jungian psychology, and so we will be exploring your shadow side. And in short terms, Carl Jung explored symbolism and archetypes, and you could say that the 12 signs are archetypes. So on that note, let's explore your shadow, Scorpio, and how you come to own it. Scorpio, you greet life with protection, depth, and determination. You aren't easily fooled by others because you have already meticulously analyzed and assessed the situation. You must know how something works, and so you'll go in like this surgeon and dissect whatever that thing is. This goes for people, jobs, services, hobbies, relationships, where you live, where you travel to. You do not want to go in with your eyes wide shut. You must know the truth at all times. And now that I think about it, the very movie Eyes Wide Shut, starring Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, well, both of these actors have Scorpio risings. And that movie, in short terms, tells the story of a wife admitting to her husband that she has sexual fantasies about a man that she met. And then the husband becomes obsessed with having this sexual encounter, and he discovers this underground sex group. And then it all becomes just too much. But what does this have to do with you, Scorpio? Well, it's you, Scorpio, who unravels many secrets and mysteries throughout your life, and I mean many. And often there are secrets you wish you didn't find out, secrets and discoveries tied to hideous acts. And the thing about this is you discover such acts being made by loved ones, by people you trusted. What a betrayal. How could they let you down? The fact they lied to your face all that time. You might have grown up thinking, why is everyone lying to me? No one's honest. And so what you did is you learned to read people. You learn to read their mannerisms, their subtle body movements, what they aren't saying, reading between the lines. It's as if you know when someone is holding back, or you might know what someone is going to say before they say it. And so you'll question, what are they hiding from me? You start to then identify with being this investigator, a detective. But you not only do this to keep yourself safe, you do this to protect others. After all, you can also be highly empathetic and compassionate. When someone makes it into your inner circle, you are fiercely loyal, respectful, caring, and compassionate. Now, it could also be said that when you're living in alignment with your higher self, you're nurturing, you're soft, you're receptive. You're also comfortable with being sensitive. There is something just so charming, charismatic, and magnetic about you. You also seem to give off this super inner strength, this inner courage. You can be intense and really loving. You'll show great appreciation and gratitude to those you love. You can give generously to those you love. But you don't need to put on a show or this facade in order to prove your worth. You possess this super genuine demeanor. And when you're in this playful, fun-loving mood, it's hard not to notice you. It's interesting because you're such intense and passionate people. Therefore, when you're happy and you're feeling really good about yourself, good about life, such emotions are intensified. Honestly, I feel so lucky to have Scorpio risings and Scorpio suns in my life because I'm always going to know where I stand with them. You don't do the superficial, the fake stuff, the glossing over a situation, or pretending that things are super fine and dandy when they aren't. I think my moon in the 8th house appreciates these things. However, what often happens is you can go through times when you really go into yourself. And you can also probe into other people's business when they are not ready to share. You can be overly suspicious of other people's motives and intentions, perhaps to a fault sometimes. You can be demanding and quick-tempered when you do not get your way. You can also play these mind control games with others where you manipulate the situation, aka using other people's information against them to suit your needs. Plus, you can also go through times when you repress your emotions and you can be rather self-destructive. Yeah, with that intensity, things can become too much. See, whilst feelings of joy and happiness can be intensified, so can feelings of sadness, regret, guilt, shame. Yet, there are certain emotions that you bury. Emotions tied to things you don't want to look at or address. We'll talk more about this within the Gemini 8th house section, but often you can deny. But it was Carl Jung who said, whatever you resist persists, meaning the more you resist anything in life, the more you bring it to you. So what could this look like? Well, this could look like you resisting a feeling tied to a deeply sad situation. Let's say your parent passed away when you were quite young, or your parent left. Well, you may resist the pain, the hurt, the anger, when in actuality, there is so much to be angry about. You are grieving. But by you not addressing the pain and the upset, by you not allowing yourself to experience grief, well, you can end up lashing out at others. You can end up becoming rageful toward others. They sort of set you off, and next thing you know, you're exploding. And then it seems really strange, like, where did that come from? People may even look at you like you're some villainous creature with no self-control. Perhaps something was bubbling beneath the surface for so long and eventually you snap. But you see, Scorpio, this is about you owning your emotions. Keep in mind that your shadow is here in the first house. Scorpio rules the 8th house of shadow and psychology. And so perhaps you don't want your vulnerabilities to be on display for the world to see. And of course, they don't have to be. I think this actually goes back to trust and establishing close bonds. But it's also about you turning inward. And through such a deep dive, you learn to channel your hidden and your repressed emotions. Sure, you don't have to tell everyone all of your private information, but you can channel these emotions in different ways, such as through art, creativity, gardening, cooking, or music. Hi, it is me once again, and I just wanted to inform you about the club I have created. So it is called the Cosmic Warriors Club, and there are 2 plans within this club. The first plan is £5 per month, called Cosmic Sessions. Now within Cosmic Sessions, you will receive access to transit videos and seasonal videos. In the seasonal videos, we greet each season. We look at what the zodiac signs teach us, looking at journaling questions, also looking at an overview of the season ahead. And then within the transit videos, we even explore aspects and we look at your horoscopes, and you can also ask me questions. And then looking at the second plan, which is £14 per month, this is called the Cosmic Package. This plan includes everything that I just mentioned, plus your monthly horoscopes, your weekly horoscopes, new moon and full moon reports, and even looking at cosmic check-ins each week and discounts on my products and services and so on. So if any of these plans interest you, make sure that you go to cosmicwarriorsclub.com. I cannot wait for you to join, and I look forward to seeing you there. And this leads me on to your descendant, which is Taurus. Taurus invites you to indulge, be artistic, relax, enjoy the simple things, seek harmony, and to be musical. Taurus gets you tapping into something creative and enjoyable, something that makes you feel centered, calm, and patient. There is this whole other level of control that Taurus adds to your life. There is this smooth and solid energy Taurus brings. Taurus says, you're safe here. It's okay to get comfortable here. I'm here to show you the importance of routine and consistency in your life. We can't deny, Scorpio, that your emotions are so strong and you can go to extremes. You often live such turbulent lives, going from one extreme to another, all or nothing attitudes. But Taurus invites harmony, balance, and grounding yourself in the present. Taurus adds this steadiness. And this is interesting because you often look out at the world and you think people are so obsessed with money and materials. Look at them flaunting their jewelry, their lifestyle, their houses, their cars. Such greed, such hedonism. They don't know what it's like to really experience pain and hardship. But Taurus encourages you to look in the mirror. Taurus asks, what are these people reflecting about the things I desire within my own life? See, Taurus shows you that it's okay to want nice things. It's okay to treat yourself or to strive for materials, property, or money even. And the thing about this is you attract people into your life who teach you these lessons. You might not see it because a big part of the 7th house is unconscious, but often the people you attract teach you about the importance of security, safety, comfort, ease, and gaining resources. After all, it's our resources which can help us live healthier, fuller, and richer lives. Now, I'm not saying that you need to forget this part of you that sees through the BS, because let's face it, there is so much superficialness and BS and phoniness and fakeness, all that stuff. I'm with you here, Scorpio. And I mean, you probably know more than most that money, greed, possessiveness, and jealousy can ruin people. Okay, money can be used in manipulative ways. People can get into all sorts of debt, and perhaps you actually grew up surrounded by debt. People in debt to others, family members with tons of debt, you being in debt to someone else and not being even used against you, right? Which wasn't a nice feeling, I am sure. But what if you could own the parts of yourself that doesn't have to be so suspicious? Moreover, you tend to attract lovers, close friends, and business partners to an extent who are artistic, musical, talented, dependable, loyal, wealthy, resourceful. And when you become really close, these qualities seem to come out of you. You can experience relationships where you feel secure and content, you feel supported, you feel loved. There is this holding energy that you can experience within your relationships. And you can also own these parts of yourself. These parts of yourself that are so grounded, steady, intentional, and slow moving from the emotional body to the physical body, seeing how certain emotions truly feel within your body, what they're communicating about a situation, a person, or an opportunity. Of course, you're a water sign. You can be so emotional and empathetic and deep. You are moved by your inner world. But if you repress your emotions, I think you miss out on the true depth of your emotions. Indeed, it is you, Scorpio, who brings what is hidden to light. You can release your mighty and powerful emotions in constructive ways. And by doing so, your energy regenerates. You also seem to transform the lives of those around you, perhaps unintentionally, which I find fascinating because when we change ourselves, others around us change. And this is not necessarily a conscious thing or an intentional thing. And you perhaps know this, Scorpio. Self-mastery is huge for you. You become the phoenix, the Minerva who soars and does remarkable things in the world. You can be these incredible healers, especially when you implement those Taurus qualities of grounding and supporting. And you'll continue to transform many times throughout your life. However, be cautious of trying to change others whilst denying yourself. Be cautious of overindulgence and giving in to your strong compulsions and desires. See, it's also your relationships that can bring out the parts of you that are hedonistic and materialistic, overly so. And with you being the type of person who can go to extremes, right? Imagine the issues with addiction, obsession, overdoing it, overworking yourself, becoming really fixated on money and materials and success. You might develop this addiction of some kind depending on who you involve yourself with. And this I find to be interesting because I would say that you are such strong-willed people, yet you can be easily influenced by romantic partners. You can be very sensitive to things like gambling, partying, having too much fun. Oh yes, you can act as these pleasure seekers where one of something is not enough. You need more. One more hit, one more purchase, one more drink, one more smoke. Now, you could be a Scorpio who has very much addressed these things within yourself, and so you have learned to channel these desires in constructive ways, such as through business, art, music, leadership. But perhaps there are those of you, or there are times when you have depended on others to support you with their finances and their security and their resources. You have leaned on others to provide for you, to get you out of a sticky situation. But by owning these parts of yourself, you learn that you must provide for yourself. See, you can also attract people who are lazy and immovable, people who are not willing to meet you halfway. You can attract people with zero work ethic, or people who are very insecure within themselves and they maybe take those insecurities out on you. And if this is the case for you, Scorpio, this is about addressing the parts of yourself that puts up with such behavior. And I think it's also about addressing your own work ethic and your own dedication to things. It's about you developing your own set of skills and talents too. Being around people who don't listen, people who put up these stubborn walls with little room for change, well, this takes you away from your purpose. Like I said a moment ago, when you change, other people change. But trying to force someone to change who doesn't want to change, it's a losing battle and you're wasting your time. And when you direct this energy within, people can't help but notice the changes within you. They might actually feel so incredibly inspired by you. Still, let's take you back to your childhood by exploring your 4th house / your IC. So you have Aquarius there. Did you grow up in a household with emotionally absent or distant parents? Or was there a lot of separation in the family? Maybe family members were split up or sudden changes happened continuously. And these things resulted in you growing up in this unstable household. Were you subconsciously taught this message of things aren't steady, they're not secure, and so I can't get too comfortable here? Or is it that you felt awkward, weird, and different, as if no one could possibly relate to you because they didn't see or experience what you saw and experienced? Perhaps you felt like an outcast, like an outsider within your home, or you would compare your family to other people's families and you would think, my family is freaking crazy. Yeah, maybe you felt like this outsider within your family, or maybe it's that it didn't even feel like a family at times. It felt more like a place where people would come and go. People didn't stay for long. And so you waited for this unexpected change, and you may bring this type of energy to where you live. So there is this part of you that is subconsciously waiting for something to happen out of the blue, leaving you to adapt in such jarring ways. So many things happened which shocked your family and your emotions. And so you grew up used to surprises, Scorpio. Nothing can surprise you or shock you because you've seen it all. And whilst so many people see you as so emotional and intense, what they don't see is how logical, scientific, and objective you can be. They don't see the parts of you that are trying to make sense of your environment in this very rational, level-headed way. And they also don't see the parts of you that can become emotionally erratic and disruptive. There is this chaos happening within you between your mind and your emotions. And it is so very difficult to feel balanced, to feel centered. There is often a lack of clarity. And due to such difficulties, you can often lack confidence. Now, again, people may not see these sides to you, but the thing is that you transform when it comes to these things as well. You grow to become so incredibly confident and self-assured. But in order to do that, it's about owning the parts of you that stands firm in your convictions. See, you develop this innovative and inventive inner life. You had these unique thoughts about the world. Perhaps one of your parents instilled this freedom of thought within you, either directly or indirectly. You received this message of not conforming to other people's views, but to instead have a mind of your own. And when you feel super comfortable with someone else, you can be so experimental, genius, technological. You'll help your loved ones and show them how things work. You can be this humanitarian at your core. You want to make the world a better place. You want to make a difference in the world. And how you go about doing this is by holding your focus and concentrating on an invention, a technology, a system, a community, a cause, whatever it is. And when you get really, really good at that thing, Once you master the skills within a particular outside of the box area, what you do is you bring it to the world. You teach it, you share it, you attend fun events to do with it, you get involved in something creative, a creative way of showing up in front of the public. You may end up finding your niche within a particular group, and you can be a leader. Amazing leaders, great leaders, noble leaders, dignified. Indeed, this is about you owning the parts of yourself which are group-orientated, experimental, and original, whilst also being independent. All right, so now we have explored your family life and how you approach your relationships. Let's explore your 8th house, and you have Gemini in the 8th house, Scorpio. And what I want to start off by saying is you transform the most when it comes to up here, when it comes to your mind. It is through the mind that miracles happen for you, Scorpio. And before we get further into this, I want to just share something that I've been learning in psychotherapy. And that is that it is okay to have a private mind, a private world. It's okay to keep things to ourselves. We often think that within relationships, we must tell our partners or our friends or our relatives everything about our lives, everything we're feeling and thinking. But the thing is we don't. It's okay to have private thoughts, and we cannot control what other people are thinking either. We also shouldn't put up with others trying to control our thoughts or our emotions. Now, the reason why I bring this up, Scorpio, is that often it's you who must know what other people are thinking, what their intentions are, right? Their motives. Now, perhaps you were like this when you were much more younger, but I think what you come to learn is that other people are entitled to their own private thoughts and feelings, and that they are not necessarily hiding anything from you. However, of course, there is a difference between privacy and secrecy, and it's you who has experienced so much secrecy throughout your life, okay? Going back to what I was talking about earlier, people who have lied and manipulated situations, people who have intentionally hidden information from you. But you see, you too can be like this, where you hide information, where you aren't fully honest with others. There can be this controlled way of how you communicate. You know what to share and what not to share. Now, again, you are entitled to your privacy as well. But the thing is that you transform when it comes to these very things I'm talking about. You transform when it comes to telling the truth. And it could be that there is some shame around certain truths, right? You have been made to feel bad for thinking certain things, for feeling certain ways. But the way I see this is, as you mature, you become a powerful thinker and communicator. And what I mean by this is you dig deeper, you investigate, you learn more about the taboo, the occult, more about hidden truths, okay? And you bring those hidden truths to light. You become someone who shocks and surprises with your honesty, because you cut right to the very core of a situation. You move away from feeling shame for your insights, and you actually move toward experiencing profound intellectual alertness. You would rather have someone tell you the truth and hurt your feelings rather than them lie to you in order to protect your feelings. And you're going to respect people so much more if they are honest with you, even if that thing is seen as more negative or upsetting. So going back to the point I was trying to make at the very beginning, I think that these emotions that you often do not want to address are tied to the ways in which you communicate and think. All right, so moving on to your 12th house, you have the sign of Libra here, and right off the bat, this suggests that some spiritual lessons you're coming to learn in this life are tied to your relationships, balance, fairness, harmony, and justice. And it's here we just see how blinded you can be when it comes to your relationships. Now stay with me here. Have you ever heard of the song What is Love by Hathaway? Some of the lyrics from this song reads, "What is love? Oh baby, don't hurt me no more. No, I don't know why you're not fair. I give you my love, but you don't care. So what is right and what is wrong? Give me a sign." See, it is you, Scorpio, who gives your love. You give so much of your love to others, to those that really make it into your inner circle. And this is also thinking about energetically speaking too, okay? You'll love with all of your heart, you'll be loyal, you'll be committed. But what often ends up happening is you can attract flaky people, indecisive people, superficial, non-committal people. And at the same time, it takes a very long time for you to bring down your walls and to let people in. You need to establish trust, yet you can be so fearful of the connection, fearful of the hurt that can come from getting your heart broken. There are often these irrational fears you have toward love, commitment, marriage, relationships overall. And so when you find someone who is really worth it, well, the very thought of them being unfair can be debilitating. The very thought of them leaving you at all, or even just passing away, that can be really scary. You might not show it above the surface, but underneath you are such sensitive people, especially sensitive to how other people accept you, okay? Thinking about those ones that you love, you want them to accept you and to give you so much love as well. You have so much love to give, and I think you know that. But there is often resistance, denial, rejection, fears of abandonment, fears of getting hurt. And so you must choose wisely. You must be extra careful about the people you let in. And I think this is also why you're so sensitive to betrayal, because you did everything in your power at the beginning to be careful and to consider all angles, all options. And there is this subconscious part of you that stands for justice too. So this could look like you setting the score if or when others do hurt you. And when we look to the 7th house and the 12th house and the connections with Venus ruled signs, there is this deep desire within you to be close and to bond. After all, it's you, Scorpio, who longs for intimacy. Now, don't get me wrong, perhaps some of you prefer to remain as lone wolves throughout your life, and that's okay too. Maybe it is that you direct your intense and passionate energy toward a certain job or a creative outlet, but this love and connection I talk about can also show up within your friendships, within your family relationships, and so on. Essentially, I think Libra in your 12th house teaches you so much about being cooperative, fair, and tactful. Sure, you can be more romantic and communicative once you've had a couple of drinks or when you feel super relaxed and in the moment. But Libra here wants you to own the parts of yourself that are diplomatic, the parts of yourself that can work really, really well as a team. Though, of course, do be cautious because the 12th house is tied to our self-undoing, and what can end up happening is things like being overly superficial and surface level can lead to your self-undoing, Scorpio. You might not see these qualities within yourself, but Libra here is showing these parts of yourself. Then again, perhaps it is about owning these parts of yourself too, where it's like, right, okay, do you know what? I'm just going to take this person at face value, or do you know what? I'm just going to talk about these more generalized topics and subjects without it becoming too deep. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video talking all about the Scorpio psychology. I really hope that you found this video to be helpful today. Thank you so much for watching. If you happen to have a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising, please let me know your thoughts and your opinions on today's video. And if you're cross-watching for a Scorpio in your life, I hope you find it to be helpful. But with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and also give this video a like if you did like it today. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!